This stock pot weighs 3 pounds and 6 ounces. The buyer asked, would you ship that to the United Kingdom and do me a better deal? Because he said it costs $50 to ship it. What did I do? Stay tuned. Hey guys, Patriot Picker here. My name is Chris. We are down in the eBay bunker and we have a story to tell. We are going to jump into some what sold items. March is rolling right along and it is looking like it's going to be an awesome month. I hope that it looks the same for you. If you are experiencing the same thing that I'm experiencing, the rule of thumb seems to be the more you list, the more sales you make. Hey, I don't know. It's just the way it is. So, I've been doing a lot of listing, of course. I guess that's what the bottom line is. And sourcing, though, I will say this. Sourcing is sketchy right now. So you have to be out. And you got to be really busy looking, searching, researching, and trying to find, good items to flip right now. Fortunately, every now and then we run into a day where we find a lot. And then we have these days where we find very little. So the day we have a lot makes up for and helps us carry us through until that next time again. For those of you who might watch my channel that might be wondering, where is it that I actually source? If you have been a subscriber for any length of time, you will know that my main go-tos are Goodwill stores in our local area here in Central Virginia. I will travel up to hour, 2 hours away sometimes to try to source from other locations, but mainly in the local area, because we have like 6, I think, or 7 Goodwill outlets here in our community. So that's a real big help. It is warmer weather. I don't know about you and where you're at, but here in Central Virginia, we are experiencing the early stages of spring. So the warmer weather, I hope, is going to bring house cleanouts, which equals more stuff at the Goodwill. All right. So without further ado, let's jump in here and see what has sold. First item up is going to be this Lily Bloom Return to Sender. Got the little mail stamp there. You know what that means. Return to Sender. Lily Bloom. Green Living. I think these purses are made environmentally friendly. And this is considered a smaller of the purses brands that Lily Bloom makes. This sold for $14.99 plus shipping. Alrighty. I love when you actually get a buyer who has a lot of questions before they pull the trigger and buy something. It's very encouraging to get a buyer email you and communicate with you prior to purchasing an item, especially if it's obviously very positive experience. And this particular experience was awesome for such a small item. So what you're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, is an illustrated children's New Testament. One of the real small ones, sort of like the early stages of what the little New Testament Gideon Bibles were. This is a collector's item, though, because it was made by Cambridge University over in England. They are a world renowned for their Bible publishing. And so if you ever find a Bible, any Bible, from Cambridge, it's definitely worth getting, as long as it's in good shape, of course. But it's illustrated, so it has the little pictures inside and such. The interesting thing about this Bible is that there is no date in when it was published. Now, you can go back and do your research, and you can find the dates by going to Cambridge. But lady reached out to me, wanted to know some measurements. Now, I had a few measurements already in the description, but there was a few measurements that I just didn't feel like I needed to make, because sometimes things are just kind of self-explanatory. But she was very gracious in asking her questions. I answered her questions, and then she wanted to know about the date. I told her what research I had done, and found that this was obviously published sometime around the late 30s, early 40s. And that, answered her questions. She came back, and then she said, well, I'm wanting to buy this as a gift for somebody, and I'm just wanting to make sure it fits in a box that I have. We did the measurements and figured out that it would work. And she was just really, really nice. And she ended up purchasing the Bible. And that sold for $17.99 plus a little bit of media mail shipping. All right. Bibles, they're hot items. Not literally. You can hold a Bible and it won't burn you. All right. It might get to your heart, though. All right, so what's up next? All right, so yesterday when these sales that we're going over happened, I had one of those unusual days, and I don't know if you've experienced this before, but almost everything I'm showing you today that sold came as a result of someone emailing and asking questions. Yesterday was a big email day. It seemed like every time somebody emailed, they wanted to know more about the information, about the item, and then as soon as I told them, they bought it. And, commonly, I guess you would say that typically people just buy stuff and they don't ask no questions. But I like that. And I don't know if I've stressed that enough, but I really like it, because when I'm going to buy something on eBay, I ask questions. By the way, I just had a thought about something, and I wanted to know what you think. Why do people sell items on eBay that have only one picture, and the picture is a kind of like taken from a website? It's not even a picture they took of the item. It's like something they took off of a website where they sell the item. They took that picture. They put the one picture in their description, and then they say the item's for sale and this is what it is. But when you email them and ask them, can you actually show me the actual item that you're selling? Can you send me a couple of pictures of it? They never respond. I want to know what your thoughts are on that, and why it, in my mind, it is fishy. Okay. But I know there are people who do it that are, great sellers. Okay. So it's not like you can point the finger and say every one of them are, scammers. No, I think there are some, but why do they do it? I don't understand. There was, for example, there was a collection of a DVD set that I'd been looking for and was thinking about purchasing from some old TV sitcoms from back in the day. And I found several people who were selling them, that individual, like they owned them. They probably watched them and then they decided to get rid of them. But then I wanted to know if there were any brand new ones. And so I would look to see if there were brand new ones. And that's what I saw. There were these pictures, but there's this one picture of the item brand new, but not a real picture. It was taken from a website. So anyway, what are your thoughts on that? And why do they think that they would sell it like that instead of including a real picture for you. Yeah. Next up, another email come in. Gentleman wanted to know what the condition was, if there were any holes, any blemishes, any damage. Good questions. Even though description might say no holes or blemishes, or, item is in, really, really good condition, they still ask. I think that's important because there are folks who try to hide stuff to keep from not making a sale. So here's what this is. This is a fossil messenger bag, okay? And you can see right here that there's a scratch, okay? Now, it's not really a scratch, a permanent scratch. It's the way this stuff, it's like a canvas, and if I took my fingernail right now and did this, it would do the same thing, but that's just part of the way the bag's made. It's not damaged, and the bag's in really good condition. So that sold for $35 plus shipping. Again, the importance of communicating. I love just being able to have a conversation, a small conversation with potential buyers. It just opens up a little bit more trust between you two. Most of the time we never know who each other are. We never talk. So, hopefully you don't end up talking because you have a return. That's what you don't want. All right, moving right along. You've heard me say this before on my channel, where items have been in the store for a long time. And not only are they in the store for a long time, but they have a lot of watchers on them. And you keep going back and looking at your feed and you go, man, that thing has 20 watchers on it. And it's had 20 watchers on it for 8 months now. Why is no one pulling the trigger? It's a good price. It's worth every penny. There's nothing that I could think of that would be keeping someone from pulling the trigger and buying it. So why such a long delay? And then all of a sudden one day, just out of the clear blue, ka-ching! And it sells. And that's the story of this Pictorial History of the World, Great Nations, Volume 2. Guys, this is one old book. 1882. 1882. They don't make them like this anymore. I'm going to do my best to try to flip this around so that you can see a little bit of it. But they don't make them like this anymore. Check out the inside. Isn't that beautiful? So anyway, old book. Came across this and actually I think this was a house clean out and someone let me know they were doing, and I went over and they had a bunch of old books and I got them all. And they've already sold and I've only got like 2 more left. So anyway, that sold for $54.99 plus media mail shipping. Are those my real eyebrows? They look bushy. Must be the light. Okay, next up. Guys, when I was in the store and found this, I could not believe what I was seeing. I snatched this up quick. This is an actual welding helmet. I mean, why in the world would someone turn in their welding helmet? I mean, it's crazy what ends up in the thrift stores. This welding helmet, in the great condition that it's in, is going actually overseas. It's a global shipping purchase for $89.99. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's just incredible. I can't. If you're not into reselling, why aren't you? Talk about an easy way to make some extra money or start a new hobby or even go into it as a small line of business, it's just incredible that you can actually do this stuff and make a living at it. So get involved in reselling. All right. I saved the best for last. As you saw from my little intro, the stock pot. So I'm embarrassed to tell you this. My wife was like, "Are you really going to tell them that on your video?" I am. And I'll tell you why I'm going to tell you, because, well, there's several reasons. Number one, I'm just an honest guy. But two, I think it's important to realize that as a reseller, there is no boundary on what you will look for and where you will look for it at, okay? So my wife and I were driving in our downtown area of our city. It's close to the river, which is also has a bike trail and river walk. And we happened to be down in the area, and we passed by these new apartments that they've converted from these old warehouses of our area. They've converted them into condominium type apartments. And we passed by, and there was a dumpster, and it was open. The door was open on it, and I could see this very shiny object glaring in the sun. And so I was like, what's that? She said, "Are you really stopping to go look in a dumpster?" I said, "Yes." I said, "You don't know what people throw away." Boy, am I glad I did. This stock pot, guys, as you can see, it has some scratches on it. Okay. Now that, that's just part of the wear and tear of the stock pot. It's used. But the name on it is Tramontina. Tramontina. It is a made in Brazil stock pot here in America. Yeah, here in Virginia. Yeah, great condition. No lid. But I grabbed this sucker up. We came home and we cleaned it up the best we could and listed it. It's sold. I can't believe it. Okay, so as you saw from the beginning of the intro there, gentleman wanted to know, would you do me a better deal since I live in the United Kingdom and it's going to cost me $50 to ship that stock pot, but I really want it really bad. Guys, I had it listed for $26.99, and I had normal weight shipping on it. I think it was like 3.5 pounds. Can't remember what I told you earlier, but I think it's 3.5 pounds. So that's, to me, that's normal. That's a good price. It's definitely worth it. Where'd the $50 to ship over to the UK come from? Through global shipping. But anyway, that was what they said in their email. What did I do? No, sorry. Politely responded and said the item is priced right. The item's cost for shipping is correct. It is out of my control on what shipping costs are to the United Kingdom. Do they not have stock pots in the United Kingdom? Maybe they don't. But anyway, I definitely think that I didn't think the gentleman would go for it. So I said what I said in the email and sent it on its way. 5 minutes later, ka-ching! I looked down. He bought it anyway. So, stock pot, $26.99. However much it's going to cost to ship it. It goes through the global shipping program, and I know they get some kind of a discount for that, I think. But anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Maybe you would have done something different. Maybe you would have knocked off and said free shipping. No. If it's first class item or something real light, maybe, I might have, but something this heavy, not happening. So anyway, that's all I've got. This is Patriot Picker. I'm signing out. let me know about that question I asked earlier about the whole one picture and it's not even the real picture issue. I want to know what your thoughts are on that. So anyway, Patriot Picker signing out. Catch you guys again on the flip side.